Title, promised to another. The desert sand swirled as Leila walked barefoot on the terrace of her house. Morocco had seen her grow up among strict traditions, but now it was a gilded cage. The veil covered her thoughts, and her gaze was lost in the distant mountains, wishing to live another life, the one she had dreamed of with Aiden. He was a foreigner, an American, with a warm smile and a rebellious heart. They had met when he taught at the village school. Theirs had been a forbidden love, one of those that are not shouted, only live between embraces and silences. But love is not enough when duty weighs more. Her father, ruined after a bad investment, had promised her to Karim Azrak, a rich, cold man twice her age. Leila said his father one night, "Karim will save this family. You are our only hope." Leila did not cry in front of him. She saved the tears for when nobody would see her, for when, under the sheets, a Parashi pressed Aiden's memory against her chest. Destiny, however, had not finished with them. One day before the official announcement of their engagement, Leila saw him, Aiden, in the town market. L.A. looked as if time hadn't passed. "Is it true?" he asked. "Are you going to get married?" She swallowed, trembling. "I have no choice, Aiden. If I don't, my father will lose everything. And what about you to lose?" To you, he whispered. Aiden did not leave her alone. That same night he returned, this time with a plan, a van, false papers, and a route to Ceuta. If they managed to cross to Spain, they could apply to Silo. Leila hesitated. She was afraid, but she also had love. That morning, they jumped over the walls of their house. They ran through dark alleys while armed men searched for them. Karim had been alerted. Leila was carrying a small backpack, and her heart was beating like a war drum. The road to Fnidek was tense. At the limits of Ceuta, they waited for night. The border was surrounded by fences of 10 meters, watched by drones and patrols. But Aiden had a contact, a guide who knew a blind spot. With help, they scaled the fence. In a moment, a shot broke the silence. Leila Giarito. Aiden held her. The projectile hadn't hit directly, but the wound was real. Even so, they crossed, barefoot, dirty, but together. In Ceuta, they presented themselves at the asylum office. Aiden explained to Leila showed her documents. Spain granted them temporary protection. It seemed that everything was resolved, until Karim arrived. With contacts in Europe, he managed to file a complaint against Aiden. He had a kidnapping attempt. Aiden was arrested and taken to a detention center. Leila was left alone, injured, and stronger than ever. It was then that she made the bravest decision of her life. She hired a lawyer in Ceuta. She explained her story before a judge. She presented evidence, letters, photos, even videos with testimony from teachers who knew about her relationship with Aiden. She declared that everything had been constant in Swado, that the real crime was forcing a woman to marry for money. The audience was intense. Karim tried to bribe the judge, but the local media had started to talk about the case. La young woman promised who escaped the desert for love. Public pressure was strong. Justice, this time, was on her side. Aiden was released. 3 months later, on a beach in Malaga, Leila and they signed their civil union. She wore simple, white. He didn't stop looking at her as if she were a miracle. And perhaps she was. Now they live in a small house facing the sea. Leila studies design. He works as an interpreter for migrants. They never forget where they came from. But now, every night, they fall asleep knowing that they chose love over fear. And that, sometimes, the happy ending does not end Wintra. Se construye. And